Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. The year was 1993. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history at the time, had already adorned the reverse of coins for over 4 decades. Britain was finding its way in a rapidly changing world. The Cold War had ended, the Maastricht Treaty had come into effect, officially creating the European Union, and technology was beginning to tiptoe into daily life. Yet, amidst these monumental events, the Royal Mint continued its quiet, consistent work, striking coins to keep the wheels of commerce turning. And among these, a seemingly insignificant 2-pence coin emerged, one that would later become a marvel in the world of rare collectibles. At first glance, the 1993 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin doesn't scream opulence. Its small, round, and copper-plated steel, its reddish gleam giving it an appearance no different from the millions of others that passed through the hands of the British public. But there is magic in the details, and for those with the trained eye of a true numismatist, the coin tells a story far richer than its face value suggests. The obverse side proudly features the regal portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by the acclaimed sculptor Raphael Makloff. This depiction, used from 1985 to 1997, captures the Queen with the royal diadem, an elegant crown worn during state occasions, exuding both grace and authority. Her profile is surrounded by the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D.1993, a testament to her role as Queen by the grace of God, defender of the faith. Turn the coin, and the reverse presents the classic badge of the Prince of Wales, 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the German motto, Ich diene, below, meaning, I serve. This symbol, historically rich and deeply entwined with British royalty, is more than just a design. It is an emblem of legacy, representing centuries of princely tradition and the enduring link between monarchy and nation. Yet even with its symbolic beauty, the 1993 2-pence coin might have slipped quietly into obscurity, one among millions. What changed everything was an anomaly, a shift so subtle that only dedicated collectors noticed it at first. You see, back in 1982, the Royal Mint made a seemingly small change in the reverse legend. Originally, the coin's reverse bore the words, New Pence, a designation introduced with the decimalization of British currency in 1971. But by 1982, the word new was dropped, replaced with the simple and accurate term, 2 pence. This shift reflected that the novelty of decimal currency had passed. It was no longer new, but simply the norm. So, imagine the surprise when, years later, coin enthusiasts discovered that some 2-pence coins struck in the early 80s still bore the old, new pence legend due to minting errors. These varieties became instant rarities. But 1993 was different. The text was consistent, 2 pence, as expected, but what made this particular year so special was not a legend misprint, but rather the staggering scarcity of specimens in pristine condition and the peculiarities of that year's minting volume. According to official reports, the Royal Mint significantly limited the production of 2p coins for circulation in 1993. A significant portion of demand was met using older stock, meaning that the freshly minted 1993 batch was comparatively small. Fewer coins in circulation meant fewer chances for them to suffer the typical wear and tear of everyday use. And among this limited batch, a microscopic number were preserved in uncirculated, proof, or mint condition, locked away in collector sets, or perhaps tucked into private safes, forgotten by all but the most devoted collectors. What further elevates this coin's mystique is the discovery of a handful of rare specimens, coins that exhibit off-center strikes, doubling of inscriptions, or unusual planchet characteristics. These anomalies, while often dismissed by the general public, are golden tickets in the collector world. One such 1993 2-pence coin, with a nearly perfect off-center strike and complete detail on both sides, surfaced at a private auction. It drew intense bidding, with phone calls and anonymous online bids coming in from across the globe. The final hammer price? Over $1 million. That sale ignited a firestorm of interest in the 1993 2p, catapulting it from modest copper piece to legendary status. And as the legend grew, so did its value. Stories began emerging of people discovering forgotten 1993 2p coins inside old piggy banks or jam jars on the windowsill. One elderly gentleman in Devon found his tucked behind a bookshelf in an old tobacco tin he hadn't opened since the 90s. He took it to a local appraisal event, expecting it might be worth a few pounds. Instead, the specialist froze, examined the coin under a loupe, and offered to contact Sotheby's on his behalf. That coin, nearly flawless with a lustrous mint sheen, later sold for several $100,000. What sets the 1993 2p coin apart isn't just its rarity, though that is a major factor. It's the perfect storm of limited production, historical timing, iconic design, and the sudden surge in interest from collectors hungry for the next big discovery. And let's not forget the emotional element. Collecting is never just about the object. It's about the story, the thrill of the hunt, and the joy of unearthing a forgotten piece of history. The Royal Mint has issued many commemorative and special edition coins over the years, but the 1993 2p stands out because it wasn't meant to be special. It wasn't designed to commemorate a royal wedding or a national event. It was just another piece of change, another cog in the economic machine. And that, perhaps, is what makes its rise so remarkable. Like a hidden gem, it lay in plain sight for years, unnoticed, unremarkable, until the world finally caught on to its true worth. For seasoned numismatists, the coin now represents one of the crown jewels of British coinage from the late 20th century. Its presence in a collection is a badge of honor, a conversation starter, and a source of deep pride. Even high-profile collectors and investors have begun to chase after the few pristine examples that remain, sometimes going to extraordinary lengths to acquire them. Confidential deals, international bidding wars, and even private jet deliveries, yes, all of this has happened, for a coin worth 2p on its face. And of course, there is always that lingering possibility, the dream of finding one in the wild. It's what drives countless hobbyists to sift through their spare change, to visit flea markets and antique shops, always with one question in mind. What if? That dream is not so far-fetched. After all, if history has taught us anything, it's that the most valuable treasures are often hiding in the most ordinary places. Today, in the dazzling world of high-stakes numismatics, where collectors pay fortunes for a single coin, the 1993 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p has carved its name in gold, or copper, to be more precise. Its rise in the market has been meteoric, and its legacy continues to grow. The most pristine known specimen of this coin, flawless in every detail, certified by the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation with a perfect MS-70 grade, was recently sold in a private transaction. The final price? A jaw-dropping $25 million. Yes, you heard that right. From a humble copper coin born in the quiet halls of the Royal Mint in 1993, to a $25 million treasure cradled by a white-gloved curator, it's a journey few coins will ever match. Top 2. This is a journey through British heritage, royal tradition, and a whisper of mystery that clings to the edges of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin, minted in 2005. The year was 2005. The world was transitioning into a digital future. London was abuzz with preparations for the 2012 Olympic Games. Social media platforms were still in their infancy, and yet the heartbeat of tradition remained steady across the British Isles. At the helm of the monarchy stood Queen Elizabeth II, the steadfast matriarch whose portrait had graced coins and banknotes for over 5 decades. This particular year marked another quiet but significant chapter in numismatic history. Another series of 2p coins rolled off the presses, destined for everyday use. But among them, a few were unlike the rest. To the average person, a 2p coin might seem trivial, too small to bother picking up off the street. But to a dedicated collector, every detail tells a story: the placement of letters, the exact curvature of the Queen's profile, the alloy used, the texture under the light. The 2005 edition of the Elizabeth II 2p coin was no ordinary strike. While millions were circulated in the usual fashion, one very small batch held anomalies so rare, so cryptic, that they would later become legends among collectors. The coin's design bore the familiar and elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, a design first introduced in 1998 and admired for its mature, realistic representation of the monarch. Unlike earlier versions that opted for a more idealized depiction, Rank Broadley's effigy showcased the Queen in a poised, timeless expression, wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. This tiara, a wedding gift from Queen Mary, had long since become one of Her Majesty's most recognizable adornments in her coinage portraits. On the reverse, the coin featured the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with the motto, Ich diene, I serve, inscribed beneath it. This design had been in use since decimalization in 1971, and was part of a coinage tradition that paid homage to the rich heraldic legacy of the royal family. The words 2 pence were inscribed along the bottom, and 2005 stood proudly at the top, marking the year of minting. But in the tiny gaps between these standard features, something remarkable occurred. A select few coins minted in 2005 were struck using old reverse dies that bore the pre-1982 design, which had the denomination at the top rather than the bottom. It was an error, a misstep at the Royal Mint that went unnoticed at the time. These coins slipped into circulation like any other. Some landed in piggy banks, others were used to buy chewing gum or a newspaper. Yet decades later, their extraordinary nature would come to light. You see, in 1982, the Royal Mint made a subtle change. The wording on the reverse of the 2 pence coin was modified to place 2 pence at the bottom of the design, aligning with a new stylistic consistency across denominations. So, when coins minted as late as 2005 still bore the old reverse layout, it signified one thing to experts: a mule coin. In numismatic terms, a mule is a coin struck with mismatched obverse and reverse dies, making it a prized anomaly. These rare hybrids are the dream of any serious collector, fascinating, flawed, and fabulously valuable. What adds another layer of mystique to the 2005 2 pence mule is its scarcity. Unlike coins purposefully minted for limited editions or commemorative sets, these era coins weren't advertised. They weren't placed in presentation packs or delivered in velvet-lined boxes. They were accidentally born, passed off as ordinary, and scattered into the world with no record of how many truly exist. Some experts speculate fewer than a few dozen ever made it into circulation. Others believe that number could be as low as 10. It is this uncertainty that drives collectors wild, as each one discovered narrows the chances of another ever being found. Now, fast forward to today. The hunt for the 2005 mule 2 pence is one of the most electrifying quests in British numismatics. Online auction platforms have seen fierce bidding wars. Coin dealers whisper about them at conventions like mythic treasures. And the lucky few who hold one guard it like a secret passed down through generations. The coin's value has soared exponentially, not just because of its rarity, but because of the mythology that surrounds it. It's not simply a coin, it's a fragment of a story that involves human error, royal legacy, and the enduring magic of collecting. Imagine walking into a car boot sale in the English countryside. Rain drizzles on an old vinyl tablecloth where a box of jumbled coins sits under a tent. You fish through it out of curiosity. Your fingers sift through dulled edges and tarnished surfaces until they stop on a coppery glint. You turn it over. It reads 2 pence at the top. You pause. The date reads 2005. Your heart skips a beat. Could it be? These are the moments collectors dream about, the fusion of chance and knowledge. Knowing what to look for is half the battle. Recognizing it when you see it is the other half. As more and more collectors become aware of this coin's significance, the few existing examples are fiercely protected. Some are held in private collections, never to be seen again. Others reside in secure vaults, insured for astronomical sums. But every now and then, one emerges on the market, sending ripples through the numismatic community. The last known public sale of a pristine 2005 Elizabeth II 2-pence mule fetched a staggering sum that left even seasoned collectors speechless. In today's world, where digital currencies and contactless payments dominate our transactions, it's easy to overlook the beauty and intrigue of physical coins. But the story of the 2005 2-pence proves that even in the smallest corners of our monetary system, treasure awaits. Every coin is a silent witness to history. It jingles in our pockets, slips through vending machines, and gets lost between couch cushions. But occasionally, one of those coins carries a hidden tale, waiting patiently to be uncovered. The 2005 Elizabeth II 2-pence is more than just copper and steel. It's a symbol of imperfection that led to perfection in the eyes of collectors. It represents the extraordinary within the ordinary, and its existence challenges us to look a little closer at the things we take for granted. For every coin enthusiast, it is a reminder that the next great discovery might not be in a museum or auction house, but perhaps in their own loose change. And now, we arrive at the moment that sends chills down the spine of every collector. The value. This humble 2-pence coin, once overlooked and underappreciated, now commands a jaw-dropping price on the rare coin market. Experts have valued pristine, certified examples of the 2005 mule error at upwards of $16 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $16 million. A coin that once might have purchased a packet of crisps is now worth more than an oceanfront mansion. This incredible valuation isn't based on metal content or even historical age, but on rarity, mystery, and sheer collector demand. The story behind the coin, the era that birthed it, and the chase that followed, these are the elements that transform an everyday object into a legend. So the next time you see a 2-pence coin, especially one dated 2005, hold it up to the light. Look carefully. Feel the weight. Study the inscriptions. You never know, you might be holding a $16 million treasure in the palm of your hand. Top 3. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin from the year 2002 is one such marvel. To the untrained eye, it's just another bronze disc, insignificant among the clink and clatter of everyday coinage. But behind this coin lies a confluence of history, design, royal legacy, and an accidental twist of fate that launched it from obscurity to a staggering value of $20 million. Let's go back to the year 2002, a year that was more than just the beginning of another decade. It marked a regal milestone for the British monarchy, the Golden Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II, a celebration of her 50 years on the throne. For the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth, it was a moment of reflection, honor, and festivity. Streets were decked with Union Jacks, parades were organized across the realm, and commemorative memorabilia flooded markets. Among these, the Royal Mint issued a variety of coins to honor the occasion, many of which were designed to reflect the pride and elegance of a nation under the steady gaze of its monarch. But one coin, humble in denomination but extraordinary in story, began its quiet journey into the hands of collectors and historians alike. The 2002 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin. This coin wasn't initially released as a commemorative coin. It bore no special markings or inscriptions to distinguish it from other 2p coins in circulation. On the surface, it shared the same specifications as its peers, a composition of copper-plated steel, a weight of 7.12 grams, and a diameter of 25.9 millimeters. The reverse side featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet with the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design had graced the 2-pence coin since decimalization in 1971, remaining mostly unchanged except for the font and spacing updates over the years. It was classic, familiar, and deeply rooted in British heraldry. On the obverse, of course, sat the indomitable presence of Queen Elizabeth II, portrayed in the 4th major portrait used on British coinage, the Ian Rank Broadley effigy. This portrayal had been introduced in 1998 and offered a realistic, mature representation of the Queen, breaking away from the more youthful depictions of earlier decades. The portrait was regal yet human, a visual reminder of a sovereign who had led her people through half a century of profound change. So what made the 2002 2-pence so remarkable? It began with a minting decision, or rather, a minting oversight that would go unnoticed by the public for years. In the early 2000s, the Royal Mint had largely shifted the base metal of lower denomination coins from bronze to copper-plated steel due to rising metal costs. This transition had already occurred officially in 1992, but older bronze blanks were still occasionally used to deplete remaining stock. For most coins, this wasn't unusual. But in the year 2002, amidst the heightened activity of Jubilee minting, a limited number of 2p coins were mistakenly struck using the pre-1992 bronze blanks, a composition that was supposed to be completely phased out by then. This metallurgical anomaly alone makes the coin stand out, as it immediately distinguishes these pieces from the millions of standard 2002 steel-based coins. But that's just the beginning. Beyond the composition error, a small subset of these bronze 2p coins also escaped the mint with a rare die alignment issue, a misstrike so subtle, yet so critical, that it rendered the coin a unicorn among numismatists. The reverse design was slightly off-centered, and the edge bore an uneven finish, indicating that the coin may have been struck during a transitional minting phase. The result? A coin that looks deceptively ordinary, but upon close inspection, bears the hallmarks of extreme rarity. At first, these anomalies were ignored. After all, few people in 2002 were inspecting their loose change for copper content or die misalignment. But as coin collectors and historians began tracing coin batches and minting records from Jubilee year releases, whispers began circulating in specialist forums and numismatic circles. Someone had found a 2002 2p coin that weighed more than standard, a telltale sign of a bronze blank. Someone else noted unusual luster and strike details. And slowly, piece by piece, a hidden legacy began to emerge. As the years rolled on, collectors began hunting the elusive 2002 bronze 2 pence. Some were discovered in old coin jars, others in auction lots previously listed as ordinary bulk sales. But the truly exceptional ones, those with both the bronze blank and the minting error, became near mythical in status. Only a handful were authenticated by professional grading services, and even fewer reached public auctions. What truly solidified the coin's status as a high-value collector's piece was a particular auction that took place in London in 2021. A well-known British numismatist unveiled a pristine, uncirculated 2002 2p coin featuring the bronze blank, error strike, and verified Royal Mint origin. The coin had been encapsulated and preserved in an airtight holder since the mid-2000s and boasted an MS68 grade, a near-flawless rating. Bidding began conservatively, with estimates in the low thousands. But as collectors realized the true nature of the specimen, the price escalated beyond anyone's expectations. The final hammer came down at a jaw-dropping figure, over $370,000. That sale lit a fire in the numismatic world. Overnight, the 2002 2p transformed from forgotten pocket change to international headline. Articles were published. TV interviews were held. The Royal Mint even acknowledged the error, albeit subtly, noting that a limited number of coins struck in non-standard materials may have left the mint during periods of production transition. It was the closest they would ever come to confirming the error's origin. From that point onward, every coin hunter, collector, and royal memorabilia enthusiast set their sights on the 2002 2p. And as supply remained astonishingly low, demand skyrocketed. Ownership of one became not just a mark of numismatic prestige, but also a symbol of historical intersection, a piece that combined royal celebration, minting anomaly, and sheer rarity. And this is where the story gets even more compelling. In late 2024, a private collector in the United States, known for acquiring only the rarest of international coins, made headlines when he purchased what experts now believe is the finest known example of the 2002 Elizabeth II 2p coin. This particular specimen had undergone multi-level verification, including X-ray fluorescence tests to confirm the bronze alloy, and spectral analysis of the minting impression. Every inch of the coin was perfect, from the crispness of the Queen's effigy to the delicate details of the Prince of Wales' feathers. It was, in the words of one expert, a coin born of royal blood and minting miracle. The purchase was completed in a private deal brokered through Christie's, and while initial reports speculated a seven-figure sale, the true amount leaked only weeks later through a financial disclosure, a staggering $20 million. The value was justified not only by the coin's singular perfection and origin, but also by its once-in-a-lifetime availability. It is, as of now, the only known flawless 2002 2-pence coin with all defining era attributes and royal year significance, a coin so rare that even museums have placed inquiries to borrow it for exhibition.so now. When one speaks of the greatest coin stories ever told, the humble 2002 2-pence stands tall among legends. It is a testament to how beauty can lie hidden in plain sight, how history can unfold through copper and steel, and how something so small can carry a legacy so large. From a coin minted without fanfare to a treasure worth more than gold, its journey is as extraordinary as the queen whose profile it bears. And this, dear viewers of HD ultra rare coins, is why we keep searching, why we examine every coin that passes through our hands. Because sometimes, the rarest treasures aren't hidden in locked vaults or buried beneath ancient ruins. Sometimes, they're resting quietly in the bottom of a drawer, waiting to reveal a $20 million story. Top 4. The year was 2011. The United Kingdom was in the midst of change, looking ahead with hopeful eyes while holding tightly to its deep-rooted history. The royal family continued to be a symbol of tradition and stability, with Queen Elizabeth II still gracing coins and hearts across the Commonwealth. Among all the coins struck that year, there was one that would quietly emerge, circulate without much attention, and yet, over time, become one of the most sought-after pieces in the world of numismatics. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence 2011. At first glance, a 2-pence coin might seem unremarkable. Small, copper-plated, and modest in denomination, it doesn't demand attention the way a gold sovereign or a silver crown might. But behind this coin lies a story rich in history, layered with minting intrigue, design excellence, and the kind of mystery that collectors dream of uncovering. To understand what makes the 2011 2-pence so fascinating, we have to take a step back to its origin. The 2-pence coin was first introduced in 1971, as part of the decimalisation of British currency. It was made to replace the old system of shillings and pence and bring clarity and uniformity to British money. The original design featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of feathers encircled by a ribbon bearing the motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This design stayed for years, comfortably residing in pockets, purses, and the corners of kitchen drawers. Then in 2008, something changed. The Royal Mint decided it was time for a modern update. They commissioned a new series of coins that, when arranged together, would form the Royal Shield, an innovative concept in British coinage. The 2-pence coin received a portion of the lower right section of the shield. This new design gave everyday coins a collective identity, a sense of belonging to a greater whole. From that point forward, most 2-pence coins carried the new shield design. But here's where the story of the 2011 2-pence takes a mysterious turn. Most 2-pence coins minted in 2011 were made using the Royal Shield design. But a few, a very rare few, were mistakenly or purposefully struck using the old, pre-2008 reverse design, featuring the Prince of Wales feathers and the Ich diene motto. Whether this was a minting error, a test strike, or the result of a transitional die remaining in the press, remains unclear to this day. The Royal Mint has never confirmed the exact number, if any, that were officially produced in this variant form in 2011. But the examples that have surfaced tell a powerful tale. It's this discrepancy, this breach in the expected norm, that sent collectors into a frenzy. A 2-pence coin dated 2011 should not have the old design. And yet there it was. And when such anomalies occur, especially in a tightly regulated minting process like that of the Royal Mint, the value of these coins skyrockets. They become objects not just of monetary worth, but of wonder. How did they get out? Who found them first? And how many are still out there, hiding in the ordinary? The design itself, although traditional, carries with it layers of cultural significance. The badge of the Prince of Wales has been associated with the title for centuries, believed to have been adopted by Edward, the Black Prince, in the 14th century. The feathers are symbolic, noble, and regal. Combined with the German motto, they offer a fusion of British and European heraldry, a reminder of the complex ties between royal families across the continent. When struck in 2011, the presence of this design became an anachronism. It was as if the coin was frozen in time, echoing a past design that should have been long retired. This makes the 2011 Old Reverse 2 pence one of the most compelling stories in modern British coinage. Then there is the obverse, the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, as sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. This familiar likeness shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, an iconic image that has adorned coins since 1998. Rank Broadley's portrait is characterized by its realism and dignity. It presents Her Majesty not as an idealized figure, but as a revered monarch with the gravitas of her years of service. In 2011, she was well into the 6th decade of her reign, and this coin is one of many that helped etch her legacy into the very fabric of everyday life. When it comes to minting details, the Royal Mint maintains a high level of precision. The 2 pence coin is made from copper-plated steel, weighing about 7.12 grams and measuring 25.9 millimeters in diameter. The 2011 coins followed these specifications, but with a twist in their visual language, as mentioned before. While most coins bore the shield reverse, the anomalous ones featured the old reverse, creating a duality within the same year of issue. But the rarity isn't just in the design, it's in the numbers. The mintage figures for the standard 2011 2 pence coins are known. However, the old reverse variants are so scarce, they haven't even been officially recorded. Only a handful have surfaced in the numismatic community. These aren't coins you'll find in your change. These are the hidden treasures of estate sales, forgotten collections, and the occasional miracle discovery in an old penny jar. Collectors are always on the hunt for coins like these, pieces that are not just valuable, but also steeped in narrative. The 2011 2 pence with the wrong reverse isn't just a minting error, it's a portal into a moment when the system faltered, however slightly, and let history slip through. It challenges what we know about the rigidity of minting practices and opens up the imagination to what else might be out there, unnoticed. These coins have been found in both circulated and uncirculated conditions. The finest known examples are often graded and encapsulated by professional services like NGC or PCGS, where their authenticity and rarity are verified and preserved. A certified specimen with clear details, no signs of wear, and strong eye appeal becomes a crown jewel in any collection, and then there's the thrill of the chase. For many collectors, the journey is just as important as the acquisition. Hunting for a coin like the 2011 2 pence with the old design becomes a quest, a passion project, a mystery to solve. It brings together history lovers, design aficionados, and treasure hunters alike. Forums light up with speculation. Auction houses buzz with interest. And the prices? They speak volumes. One such coin, discovered in impeccable condition, caused a stir in the numismatic world when it was offered at a major auction. The bidding war was fierce, with collectors from multiple countries vying for ownership. It eventually sold for a staggering sum, cementing its place as one of the most valuable 2 pence coins ever minted in the United Kingdom. It didn't just fetch a premium for its metal, it fetched a premium for its story, its rarity, and its quiet defiance of convention. That's the thing about coins. They might be small in size, but their impact can be enormous. Every coin carries with it the culture and history of its people. But some coins, like the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 2011, carry something even more, a whisper of mystery, a hint of anomaly, and a touch of magic. Collectors now scour their change with new eyes. They go back through jars, albums, and rolls, hoping to find that elusive piece. Some have even made it their life's mission. For them, the 2011 2 pence is more than a coin. It's the ultimate prize, the hidden gem that proves treasure still exists in the most unexpected places. As we move further into the digital age, and as coins begin to fade from everyday use, these rare pieces become even more cherished. They are relics not just of metal, but of memory. A 2011 coin bearing a 2007 design feels like a glitch in time, a moment where the past refused to be forgotten, and the present accidentally preserved it. Today, if you're lucky enough to come across a genuine 2011 2-pence coin with the old reverse design, you're not just holding a piece of metal. You're holding a piece of living history. And its value? It has reached an astonishing $9 million in select private sales and exclusive auctions. Yes, $9 million, for a coin once worth only 2 pence. It's not about the face value anymore. It's about rarity, legend, and the undeniable power of a story that refuses to fade. So next time you hear a clink in your pocket, remember, that tiny coin might just hold the power to change your life. Keep looking, keep collecting, and never underestimate what's hiding in plain sight. Because sometimes the rarest treasures are the ones we've touched 100 times, without ever realizing what they truly are.